What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Afzal Hussain. You can find out a bit more about me through the social media links below, or you can check out my website, which is www.afzalhussain.com. Today we're doing a different type of video. We're going to be focusing on answering your DMs that you've been sending me on Instagram. Now, a lot of you message me, so I apologize in advance if I don't answer your questions. But this might be a monthly series where, you know, every month I do a video dedicated to answering all of your questions, because oftentimes you send questions and I can't get through all of them, or sometimes the responses require lengthy answers and it's quite tricky for me to type up lots of content and send it to one person on Instagram. So I'd rather do it in video format where more than one person can potentially benefit. If you'd like me to do this, one video every month focusing on answering your DMs, leave a like, give this video a thumbs up, and let's get straight into it. If you aren't already, make sure you follow me at Afzal_Hussain, and you can keep up to date with content through stories and posts that I do. Okay, I've got tons of DMs here, so I'm going to try and answer the ones that I think can hopefully be of use to a broader viewing audience. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Hi, I'm planning on going into investment banking or a career in banking, and being a Muslim, I know dealing with interest is haram. Since you have experience in investment banking or banking in general, can you describe if you deal with interest? If so, how, etc. I get this question a lot from a lot of Muslims who are interested in a career in banking and they don't know if it's haram. Now, me personally, I'm not an Islamic finance specialist. I am not in a position to, you know, say whether it is or it isn't, because I'll be honest, I'm not an expert on the subject. And so what I would advise you to do is speak to maybe someone that specializes in Islamic finance, or someone who is of authority who can give you an answer on careers in banking and if it's, you know, permissible or not. Now, in terms of dealing in interest, yes, there is a lot of interest in banking, whether you are charging clients through a fee and there is interest on top of holding their money. Naturally, when you consider banking, if you are working for a high street bank who takes loans or gives loans and takes deposits from the general public, there is interest paid every month on top of, let's say, savings accounts payments. Similarly, if you're working for a big investment bank, there is going to be some sort of interest within the whole system, but you aren't going to be specifically dealing with it. Now, there are so many different divisions within banking. You can look at the trading floor and say that, you know, all the investments that the traders are doing in the financial markets, it's speculative and it's like gambling. Is that halal or haram? So, you know, there's a lot of gray area. Me specifically, I'm not entirely sure. And so I would recommend you to kind of seek some expert or authority figures advice or perspective on that, and then take it from there. Hi, sorry to bother you, Afzal, but I really want your advice. I'm a final year student majoring in finance in China. Currently, I hold offers of MFA at LBS, so London Business School, Masters in Finance, I assume, Finance at LSE, and Finance and Econ at Cambridge. I am determined to have a career in investment banking in London in the future. Can you give me some advice on choosing the offer? So you've got an offer from London Business School, an offer from LSE, and an offer from Cambridge. Personally, they're all very good offers. Obviously, Cambridge and LSE have that brand value, so they make you stand out a bit more. Given that, you know, a lot of top firms do to some extent look at the institutions you're at, so having the brand power will help you. LSE has the benefit of being in London, so it's good for networking opportunities, and it means you're, you know, well placed compared to Cambridge when it comes to going to events or networking drinks or meeting up with people that you reach out to on LinkedIn. The courses, you know, that would be something for you to specifically look into, but for the most part, the specific course that you do is irrelevant to getting into the job offers that you're interested in within investment banking, because all of those courses are pretty similar. Econ and finance, you know, private equity, whatever it might be, they all, once you do a master's within the finance field, regardless of what institution you're at, they all have the same weight. The only difference is how strong you've been networking and building relationships, how strong your applications are when you're applying to these companies, and, you know, to some extent the brand of the academic institution. So the LSEs, the Oxfords, the Cambridges have a bit more weight compared to all of the other institutions. So it's a personal choice for you to make, but those are some of the pros and cons that I would consider. Also, you should talk to some of the alumni of those courses. So reach out to people on LinkedIn if they've, done your course at Oxford or Cambridge or LSE or London Business School, and see what they have to say about their experience. Because 1 year, it's a short time, but it's also a long time to get a lot of work and networking done, and it buys you time to apply to grad schemes and internships. So those would be my tips for that. Hi, my name is, I'm not giving anyone's names just for privacy reasons, and so yeah, hi, my name is XYZ, and I'm a junior studying at University of Southern California, majoring in econ and math. Recently, I was lucky enough to receive a super day offer from BlackRock. I have no background in finance, only with little interest or little understanding in general accounting. I really do not want to miss the chance, but I only have 6 days to prepare for the interview. The interview is going to be the upcoming Thursday, that's tomorrow, and I am interviewing for the Alternative Investment Group. I busted my ass off this weekend and got down leverage buyouts, accounting, DCFs and EV, but only on a surface level, mainly memorization. I would love to hear about your opinion on what I should focus on reviewing with such a time constraint. It seems like you've done a lot of practice on the technicals. If you've got very limited time between where you're at and your interview, I would say yes, get your technicals up to par, make sure you know everything around the technicals that there is required for that role at a high level. That's good enough, but then you need to definitely focus on your competencies, because that is going to be a large part of your interview. Competency questions, using the STAR technique to answer. Tell me a time when you displayed leadership skills, tell me a time when you led a team, tell me a time when you worked as part of a team, tell me a time when you solved a problem. Why are you interested in this company? Why are you interested in this business unit or this division within our company? What attracts you to the financial markets? So on and so forth. All of those, standard questions that you can expect to come up. Make sure you practice them. Make sure you know your script off by heart, but you don't want it to come across like a script. You want it to flow easy, flow naturally. So practice all of your competencies, practice your technicals, and then expect some brain teaser questions that are there to throw you off. And remember, if you haven't seen the brain teaser video, I've done one, so you can find it on my channel. Brain teaser questions are there to throw you off. They want to see your thought process, so you need to think out loud and show them how you're thinking of getting from the problem through to the solution. So that would be my advice for you. Make sure you also know enough about the organization. So you've got an interview with BlackRock or an assessment day with BlackRock. Make sure you know everything that BlackRock is doing as an organization, and in any specific key areas relevant or related to the role you're applying for, because that shows you've done, not just surface level research, but you've gone deeper, which is always impressive for anyone that's interviewing you. Next question. Okay, hi Afzal. I'm currently in year 13 and hold offers to study politics at LSE and economics at St Andrews. I know economics is better for investment banking compared to politics, but I know LSE is better than St Andrews for investment banking. Considering St Andrews is ranked 3rd in the UK compared to LSE in 4th, I don't know which one to pick. Any advice would be great, thanks. Okay, so St Andrews, great uni. The benefit is no tuition fees, so you save a lot of money there. LSE, obviously, the benefit is the brand. It's a world-class university. First and foremost, I would say ignore the rankings, forget about that. No investment bank, no company looks at the rankings. They just know, even if on the rankings LSE is ranked 10th and St Andrews is ranked 2nd, people aren't going to care about the ranking. They just know when they hear LSE, they think, oh, it's an impressive institution. So they know top class candidates go to LSE. So forget about the ranking. Now, if I would advise you to study what you think you will perform better in. So if that's politics, do politics. If it's economics, do economics. Now the benefit, and I previously mentioned this in one of the answers, the benefit of going to LSE is, one, it's a globally recognized institution. It's world class, it's recognized for being top of the top. And 2, it's in London, so that gives you a lot of opportunity throughout your degree, so the 3 years, to go to lots of networking events, lots of insight events, insight evenings, to meet lots of people. So, and also the culture at LSE, everyone around you is going to be focused on spring weeks, internships, all of that stuff, and so being around the people that are getting the best offers, you can often learn a lot from them, so it puts you in a better position. St Andrews, the benefit is it's a great university, but it's far away. It's not LSE, it doesn't have that brand recognition. However, it's not impossible to get into banking from St Andrews. It goes without saying, it doesn't matter you know, it's not 100% based on which university you go to. If you can go and build your CV with lots of strong spring weeks and work experience and internships, naturally you will be getting interview offers at the best companies. It's my dream to be an investment banker. I wish to work in a big investment bank like Goldman's. Please let me know what qualifications are more preferred in the industry. Should I go for CA and CFA, or a bachelor's and an MBA in finance and CFA, or a CA and an MBA and a CFA, or any other? I look forward to your reply. Okay, so qualifications. First and foremost, focus on your degree. Get that under your belt. Once you're doing your degree, the key thing you should be doing is focusing on spring weeks and internships. I know spring weeks for the most part are for UK students predominantly, but if you are not in the UK, you can try and get any other relevant experience. Remember, relevant experience tops everything, and then it's irrelevant experience, and then you position the skills that you learnt in a way that suit the role that you're applying to. So you can go into the description of the roles that you're applying to and take out key buzzwords, you know, leadership, teamwork, interpersonal skills, communication skills, technical skills, blah, 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 and put them into your CV, cover letter, or your application. Now, so yeah, focus on your degree, focus on getting the best grade you can, but more important than anything is your work experience throughout your university degree. The first, second, third, fourth, however many years it is, you need to be consistently doing relevant work experience as well as extracurricular activities. Once you graduate, most firms that value CFA is more focused for buy-side firms, so asset management firms, private equity firms, hedge funds, private wealth management, less so for corporate finance and investment banking. So CFA is more focused on, you know, portfolio management, different asset classes, private equity, hedge funds, etc. So if you're going for the buy side, you can do CFA, but when you join these organizations, they'll pay for you to do it. So it's up to you if you want to do it early. If you graduate and you haven't got any offers, then it's a good idea to do your CFA. Master's degrees don't add much for the most part. If you're going for a very technical role or a very quant focused role and you've done a master's in, you know, a very specific niche related subject, that might allow you to go in and get promoted a year earlier. If you are further along your career path and you want to do an MBA, that will bring you in at a more senior position, but that's a good few years down the line. So we're talking about people with 5, 6, 7 years of experience. Also, you have to consider an MBA, is it worth the financial cost, because that's a huge chunk of money that you will pay to do the MBA. But on the flip side, when you do look for careers or you look to join the world of banking or finance after doing an MBA, you do start off on a higher salary. So those are all things to consider. In terms of which qualifications should you do, no qualifications are fully required. CFA does make you look like you know what you are doing in the world of finance if you are a graduate and you're interested in going into the buy side. But other than that, you know, nothing is mandatory. If you can graduate and get the best route, the easiest route is graduate either from your undergrad or your master's and get an offer to a graduate scheme and then take it from there. Next question. Hello, my name is XYZ and I'm a high school senior from Chile. I'm planning to attend a community college in South Carolina and then transfer to a 4-year institution. I want to pursue a finance degree and work in investment banking, but my main concern is that because of the high cost of American universities, I don't think I'll be able to attend a target school, even though I have the necessary SAT and TOEFL scores. I wanted to know your opinion on this, and if you think that it is still possible to pursue a career in investment banking with that background, community college plus 4-year non-target universities. I'm guessing community college is the equivalent of like a state school in London, so nothing fancy, not private, nothing like that. So I went to one of those, so don't, you know, be too hard on yourself. Non-target university, I went to a non-target university. I went to Queen Mary. It doesn't have the same brand strength as Oxford, Cambridge, LSE, Harvard, etc. However, my strategy was to get into university and throughout that just network and try and get as much work experience as I can, and that's what I did. So at the end of my first year I had lots of experience that allowed me to apply specifically to what I wanted to do in my second year, which was asset management, and then I got the offer for Goldman's, did the summer internship, converted that into a grad scheme. So to answer your question, it's not impossible. People oftentimes they overestimate the competition. If you find something you're really interested in and you can match it with the right experience, naturally you're going to go to the right places and you're going to be able to secure offers. So you should definitely try. Don't be disheartened by the brand of, you know, where you're at. Just keep working hard and try to secure as much work experience as you can. I tell all these students that I talk to throughout my university tours, experience is the currency, and it really is important. So don't, you know, be too hard on yourself and just go for it. There's nothing to lose. You need to have thick skin. You need to be comfortable with rejection, because you're going to get a lot of rejections. I got so many, but when you get that one offer, you know, or two or three, it feels really good and it makes all the rejection worth it. So that would be my advice for you. Next question. Hi Azul, I have a little request for you. Next week I have an assessment centre at Credit Suisse for a scholarship to university. Wow, I haven't done one of these before, so do you have any advice or preparation tips to help? It will be great. It will be a great help, thanks. I've done a video on assessment centre tips, so make sure you check that out. It's somewhere on my channel. So yeah, everything you need is in there. Hi, I know this is a lot to ask, but I'm an undergrad at IIT Madras and I'm actively looking for summer internship in finance sector. I just want to know, is it possible for me to intern abroad this summer? I'm from India. It'd be great if you just nudge me into the right direction and could have a look at my resume. Thanks again. I could email you my resume if that's okay. If you're from abroad, yes, you can do internships abroad, whether in the US or the UK. The main factor that determines whether you get an offer or not is if the company is willing to sponsor you or, you know, pay for the whole visa thing. Whichever companies you apply to, check that whole visa status thing before you apply, but it shouldn't be impossible for you to do the internships. After researching for many hours about investment banking, I had a question for you. Can you get into investment banking without a degree in the UK? Very good question. Let me put a bit of context into the question. I'm 20 years old, studying AAT, and likely to do CFA because financial instruments is life. Interesting. I have also traded CFDs, contracts for differences, indices and currencies with an institutional approach. I knew of people in the world of banking who got in without a degree, although it took a longer route. A few people start off, like I know one or two people who started off as assistants, so team assistants, so you know, PAs, TAs, personal assistants, team assistants. They did the role really well, then after 3-4 years they became an analyst, and that's it. The world is your oyster, the ball's in your court, you do what you want with that, you know. So not investment banks, but companies like EY, PwC, Deloitte, KPMG, I think some of those companies, and Google, they don't care about your degree anymore. They don't care if you've got a 2-1 or a first. They don't even look at your degree. They want people to apply from any type of background, and then they assess you based on the assessment centers and the interviews. So I would check with the investment banks. It's going to be tricky to get into investment banking specifically without a degree, but the world is moving in a direction where it's becoming more open. If I review your CV and I see you've got tons of relevant experience and you're clearly very good at what you do and it's related to the role that you're applying to, I wouldn't care if you went to university or not. So, you know, it's worth checking with HR, emailing people, and making sure your CV is, you know, miles ahead of everyone else. Okay, hi Avzor, I'm a fan of your videos which are really insightful into the world of banking and finance. I'm currently taking my A-levels in history, geography and economics, but don't know what to take at uni. You should take something you enjoy and that you think you will perform well in. What would you recommend for banking and finance? I'm considering doing maths at A-level in a gap year so I can qualify for target unis for economics. When it comes to applying for jobs, nowadays they don't really care what you studied at university because they encourage individuals from different degree disciplines. So when I was at work, the person next to me studied Spanish, someone behind me studied geography, someone else did engineering. So it's very mixed, and companies value diversity of thought. So don't dwell too much on what you should study, just focus on getting the best grades possible and enjoying your time doing the course. This is the last question for today, and if you have found this video useful and you want me to do more videos like this, give this video a thumbs up. Let's try and get 100 likes and I will do a new video if you want me to. Go and follow me on Instagram, it's at @afsal_Hussein, and drop me a DM, and then hopefully I will answer your question in the near future. So last question of today, it is, hey Afzal, I'm an Indian with MBA in finance and marketing. Additional to that, I have not done any finance courses such as the CFA. Can you please tell me how to enter investment banking as an associate? It depends how many years experience you've got. If you, usually an associate has 3 to 4, 5 years of experience in the industry, or they come in after doing an MBA. So if that's you, you should be applying to associate positions, and that's simply it. You go to the websites, the company websites, the careers pages, and apply for associate positions if you've got the relevant experience. That's it for today. If you want me to do more videos like this, answering your questions that you have sent in on Instagram through DMs, leave a comment below, give this video a thumbs up, and make sure you follow me on Instagram and DM me if you've got any questions. Now, the reason I'm doing a video like this is because hopefully the answers that I'm giving out are useful to more than one person, whereas if I give these lengthy answers to one person on DM, it kind of doesn't spread that value as far as it can go. And if you've been following me for a while now, you should know that I'm all about sharing the value with as many people as possible. So make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you've got any specific questions or if you have any comments to leave behind. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.